Um, First of all, let me pray. Lord, I pray for this person. I pray whoever is watching this for your peace, Lord, that they would encounter your peace that surpasses all understanding. I invite you into this video with us, and I ask that your will be done on earth as it is in heaven for this person and for me, the person watching, and for me. In Jesus' name, amen. I want to share about the process, the very slow process of life, very traumatizing process of life when you are going through painful life circumstances, and they're so traumatizing and so painful and so heavy that you literally walk slow, eat slow. Like, it takes everything much longer to get done than it used to be, meaning you are not functioning at the level, at the capacity that you used to before this event happened. I experienced this when I found out that my ex was cheating on me, my ex-husband, and it was very disorienting. I remember how I had to breathe while I was, and just like remind myself to breathe, I had to walk slowly. Things were taking me a lot of time to get done, like just basic stuff, like making a meal, even though I actually didn't make a lot of meals, but the little stuff I did, like washing dishes and stuff, it would just take me forever. Doing the laundry, all that stuff that you do every day. That is when I realized the power and the beauty of daily chores, daily life chores, and why having something to do every day is important, because it keeps us going and it teaches us these chores that we hate. They teach us to keep a routine so that when traumatizing life experiences happen, it's a natural instinct and it's a routine that we know we have to follow. Like, we don't have to think too much to function. I mean, when you're in the trauma, yeah, you have to think a lot, but it's easier, right? Because you already know what you're doing. Like, you know how to do the dishes, you know how to do the laundry, you know how to clean. Is it, do you do it the same way? No. But that is the beauty of every day. So now I value that, and I realize, okay, I'm keeping this routine because there will be hard days when I'm gonna have to remember this routine, right? It's not easy going through this, by the way. It's very hard, very challenging, very heavy, and I feel you if you're going through this. My heart goes out to you, man or woman. I'm going to share the things that I did that helped me in that process. Not perfectly. I didn't keep a routine all the time. But when I was able to keep a routine of self-care, it really made a huge difference. And I had to force myself to do a lot of things for my own mental well-being. Some of the first thing that I had to learn to do was to stop focusing or to stop imagining the idea or the fact that my ex cheated. It was very hard because I couldn't really look at other women without assuming maybe he's sleeping with them. And it was really hard to look at women, everybody, And not assume maybe, this is the person the affair is being had with. And, maybe this person is much more attractive than I am. And no wonder that person or another person, was chosen, could have been chosen, would be chosen over me because I don't look like that. So a lot of that was happening, a lot of intrusive thoughts. Never self-harm for me, but there were days when I wished I could just not wake up. So I wasn't trying to kill myself, but there were days when I was like, it would be great if I just didn't wake up. And when I did wake up, I was like, oh, why did I wake up? Like, can I just go back to sleep? Like, only when I'm sleeping, I'm not really thinking, I'm not really feeling, I'm just sleeping, right? So it's very hard, and I get it. I just want to pace myself because I know that this is really hard for a lot of us when we're going through it. And I just wish I could give you everything perfectly and give you the solution. But honestly, the only solution is going through every day. And it's hard to hear that, I know, because hearing that I have to go through this process is painful. I don't want to hear that. But all I can tell you is take it one day at a time. Let's not even think a day at a time. Let's just take it 2 seconds at a time. When it's hard to breathe and it's very heavy and it's like I'm in this moment and I'm thinking about it, let's just go through this first 1 minute together. And let's go through it 5 more minutes and an hour and 2 hours and half a day and then 1 day. And then I can't think of a day, so let me go back to the seconds. That's okay. Take it one step at a time and breathe. A lot of breathing exercises, a lot of somatic exercises. If you're really going through it, somatic exercises were life for me. I mean, I remember going outside and just learning how to breathe again. So allow yourself to take time to just breathe. And it feels fully foolish because it's like, I should know how to do this. But no, actually, you've never been through a traumatic experience like this before. So it's not going to be the same. And so the biggest thing is be graceful with yourself. Be full of grace. Be patient with yourself. Don't bully yourself into trying to get it. Why aren't you doing this the way you should have, the way you've always done it? You're not at the same capacity anymore. So bear with you, be patient with you. There will be a lot of things coming up, and the thing about it is all that you cannot control anything. And I remember, we were separated. For me, we were separated, and my ex-husband refused to come back home, and he refused to speak with me, and it was very heartbreaking. It was heart-shattering, and it was just this frustration, this inability to, I just felt this inability that I couldn't do anything, and I was so powerless. And it's so easy to feel like there's nothing you can do, but there is actually. And I found in this process that this is actually the best gift that you can give yourself during this process, and for the rest of your life. And that is the gift of taking your power back. I hate it, by the way, hearing stuff like this. But I was so tired of feeling depressed and exhausted that I decided it's like either gonna be that I'm either gonna have to learn to take my power back, or I don't know how I'm going to survive and live through this. So Those are the two choices. You can stay in depression and keep going into that path of helplessness, or you can go into the path of learning how to take your power back. And that is something that we do by learning how to make choices for ourselves. For example, and this is not everything, so you can look up how to take my power back. Go to a therapist. I'm not a therapist, but I'm just sharing my own testimony of how God helped me. And number one, I mean, every part of the journey, my journey was reading the Bible. So if you're not reading the Bible, and if you're a believer, even if you're not a believer, start reading the Bible. The Bible is alive and active. That's what it says in there. And it's not only what it says in there, is what I'm telling you. Like, I would read the Bible and it would come to life. Maybe not all the time. Maybe I would read it and just cry. And then I would read and just, like, for example, I would do stuff like this. The vineyard of the Lord destroyed. Let me sing for my beloved. And I would just stay there. I would literally just stay there and I would just cry. Let me sing for my beloved. And that's it. Because I couldn't move it any further than that. Sometimes I would go into my love song, Concerned. His vineyard. My beloved had a vineyard on a very fertile hill. He dug it and cleared it of stones and planted it with choice wines. Anyway, this is a beautiful story, but what I remember is I couldn't really go through the whole story. I would just read the first line, and then I'd be in tears, and I would be like, let me sing for my beloved. And then I would ask the Lord, help me to sing, or I would just sing, or I would just cry, and that's it. I would pour my heart out to God and just cry with the Bible open, because this is God, this is Jesus, this is His word, this is His promise. And if you just open it up and you cry, that's okay too. And it was also the encircling presence of the Lord that I felt among, around me while I was in that season. It's not easy going through this. It's not easy. But anyway, learning to take the power back is making new choices. Making new choices for yourself. And I remember writing down, what choice can I make? And that is, I'm going to read the Bible and I'm going to believe every word of it. Because I love the Lord. And I may not feel like He's being good to me right now, but I love Him. I ultimately know that He is doing good to me. I don't know how. But so God helped me understand. And so I would have those conversations with God. So that is one way I took my power back. Another way I took my power back was that I could learn to control my thoughts. I mean, did I do it perfectly? No. But I decided every time I would think about my ex sleeping with somebody else, I would turn those thoughts into the hand of God. And immediately, if I caught myself doing it, then I would give it to the Lord. I would imagine myself giving this thought to God. And then any thought of fear and anxiety about my future, I would give it to God in that moment. And of course, there were times when I would cry for an hour before I realized, oh, this thought is eating me up alive, and I'm going to give it to God, right? One thing you need to know is that you are a priority. So if you have no kids, and there's your ex-husband or your ex-partner or whatever, and if you're still living with them or if you're still around them, you have to learn that you are the priority. Your kids are important, of course. They are ultimately the priority. But after your kids, you have to make sure that you're looking out for yourself. Like, feed them, dress them, take them to school, do as much as you can. I know you're pretty much going to be functional, as functional as you can with them, and it's gonna be a hard time. So look for support, look for church people that can help you emotionally, and people that can help you take care of your kids who are trusted. Make sure they're not pervs, and make sure that you're not giving them full full time with your kids, like, just be careful with that, and I pray that God gives you wisdom for that if you are in that area. But I pray that God gives you the right people into your life. Anyway, look for a community. Even if you don't want to go, even if you don't want to go to church, even when you don't want to do it, even when you don't want to wake up, force yourself to do it. That's how I took my power back. I had a friend who told me, force yourself to do it. I did. I would force myself to get dressed up. I would force myself to put makeup on. I would force myself to, dress pretty. And those things really make a difference. So that's that. Be gentle with yourself. Adopt a routine. So my routine, besides reading the Bible, was going outside for 20 minutes, taking a walk for 20 minutes. Spending 20 minutes outside, 10 minutes outside makes a world of a difference. It really does a lot of wonders to the mind, to the brain. So my routine looked like I would join different support groups like Infidelity Survivors Anonymous, depression group, anxiety group. I was in every group you can find. And that was online while I was at work. Sometimes I would join them. Then I would come home and then I would cry and then I would spend time with God and just cry. I don't have any kids, so that was a lot of what I did initially. I would barely eat, but I would force myself to eat. And you have to do it, The only way is through. And the only way through, honestly, in life is through the Lord Jesus Christ, who is the one who was, the one who is, and the one who is to come. He is everywhere. And he is the way, the truth, and the life. And when we process information, our heart, our pain with God, he gives us a way of not living in pain. Like he gives us wisdom and understanding. So if you don't have experience hearing God's voice, the way that you will know God's voice is by reading the Bible. So that helped. I'm almost done, and the last one is really that let the emotions be. I used to judge my emotions. I didn't know how to feel my emotions. Again, somatic exercises helped a lot. And sometimes you just have to, because we want to understand everything. We want to make sense of everything. I was reading, I was listening, I was looking up all the content I could to understand why was my husband behaving this way, why was this happening to me, why I was feeling this way. And that's kind of like part of it all. Like we're gonna want to know a lot of things, but at some point we have to surrender that that need to understand, and it'll come with healing. But let your emotions be. Like, stop judging your emotions, stop judging your tears. Just if the tears want to come out, let them come out. Go to the bathroom, take a 5-minute break, or something, but let them come out when you can. If you have so much work during the daytime and you can only come home and do it, do that. That's how I used to do it. So you're not going to look the same. You're not going to feel the same. People are probably going to notice and are not going to tell you, and that's okay. And the thing about it all is that you do not owe anybody an explanation. The only one that you need to prioritize is you. And so I hope that helps. I do want you to know that the pressure is not on you. Do what you can and believe God for the rest. There is this thing called Getmo, and that is, I think it's like the way... It's like Getmo is an acronym that means good enough to move on. And I had to learn this, and I didn't know this term at the time, but this is specifically done for perfectionists who we want people who want to understand everything, every little detail. Why is this happening? How, and you want to hold on to every little thing you're experiencing throughout the day. I mean, that was me. So I would teach myself to stop honing in, to stop focusing on the little things that I couldn't understand, and just allow myself to breathe and to live in that moment. Because whatever is needing my attention is gonna come back to me. You know, your mind, whatever memory, whatever process you are going to have, it's gonna come back. It's, you know, the thing about pain, it's always gonna come back. Those memories are always gonna come back until you resolve them, until you look at them and break them down, process them out. Until then, they will not stop coming. So just know that you have time to process. You have a lot of time. You have the rest of your life to process. The most painful season is going to be between the 5 and 6 month mark. That's going to be around the hardest, maybe 7, maybe 8. It really depends. But it really also depends if you do the work. It really depends if you learn to take your power back by making new decisions for you, because we cannot control anybody else but ourselves. So I hope that blesses you, and God bless you. And I'm sorry that you're going through this. I don't know what else to tell you other than I did it. And I believe that you can do it too. So God bless you.